This past weekend, I got to check out Riftbound for the first time in person in a winner box event at my local game store. The concept was simple. It was a proxy event, so everybody could print out their own cards. If you didn't have access to your own proxies, the store provided trial decks, and the turnout was pretty good. I had 16, 18, or whatever. It was around that range. It was no more than 20. But more than 15. Going into the event, I was expecting to see a lot of Kai'Sa, which is a shame because I kind of wanted to bring Kai'Sa, but I don't feel very comfortable in that mirror match. And after talking to some really strong players, eventually ended up deciding switching to Ramp Yi. Now, Master Yi as a character has gone through a lot of changes throughout Riftbound's short-lived meta. Essentially, Master Yi started off as a pretty, I'll say, tempo-oriented deck, like a quite aggressive, still kind of mid-rangey, but definitely leaning a bit more to the aggressive side. There was also some Yi Aurora builds going around, and then eventually there was kind of like this hybrid build, which was, I would say, Ramp Yi, which had some mid-range elements and then some more expensive elements. And then there's been an adaptation of that Yi ramp list, which I think is much stronger now, which runs a bunch of 2-drops and then ramp and then all the big juices at the 8-cost threshold. And I think this deck works out quite nicely. It feels really difficult to lose games where you play a 2-drop on turn 1 and then a ramp card and then play an 8-drop. So even though I had basically no experience on this specific list, I ended up switching to this from Kai'Sa about a day before the event. I'll just do a quick summary of how my Swiss rounds went because I didn't get a chance to record any of my Swiss rounds, so I won't be able to show any of the gameplay of that. But my Swiss rounds, I went 3-1. I played against a Yi Aurora player who played quite well. I knew that Yi Aurora would be one of my harder matchups. I was just hoping I didn't find it really, or really any Aurora would have been a bad matchup probably. I was just hoping I didn't find it or that Sabotage would come in clutch. But none of that ended up lining up, and then opponent walked away with that game. Then I versed a Kai'Sa, a Yasuo, and a Victor. I took all 3 of those games. My opponents all played great, even though I think those matchups are all pretty favored for Master Yi. Those games all could have gone either way, depending on how the cards drew. So yeah, really fun matches overall. I've been playing the game for a long time online, and I didn't really know what to expect from my local scene, but I was really impressed with how well everyone was playing already. Really exciting stuff. Now, unfortunately, the store ran into a time crunch for the top cut. So top cut, instead of being played in the standard best of 3 format, was being played in best of 1. So we followed best of 1 rules, meaning that we had random battlefields for each game, which is really scary for for almost every Riftbound deck, but scary for my deck in particular, primarily because Sigil of the Storm is one of the main strategies that I use against kind of more aggressive decks. It makes the game where I'm going first substantially better than the other games, because I can go fight on whatever battlefield they bring to the game, and that means that they're forced to go play on Sigil of the Storm, or they have to walk through like a 6-might Poro because of the Yi ability. And because of that, the way the game plays out, the tempo is just so much in favor for the Yi player. However, in best of 1, that Sigil of the Storm is really scary because, well, the opponent could win the die roll and I could hit the Sigil of the Storm battlefield, and then kind of the reverse happens to the Yi player where I have to go play on Sigil of the Storm or risk a combat trick trade on Sigil of the Storm. Oh, sorry, on the whatever battlefield opponent brought. Now, ultimately, a lot of the randomness of the best of 1 format went in my favor, so ultimately I can't complain, but I just thought I would acknowledge that. You know, there's this weird aspect of playing in person that I had not considered, because this is my first physical card game for those uninitiated, and there's a lot of like weird, like I guess social / sportsmanship stuff that I just had not considered. There's definitely areas where I need to improve. Like when you think of sportsmanship as like a concept, the first thing I think you think of is like being a poor winner or even being a poor loser, which I guess I'll broadly summarize of like, oh, I should have won because of X. But there's like another part to that, like layer 2 is not being, I guess, outwardly vocal about reasons you should have lost. So instinctively, when all is said and done here, I take the victory. I get the box. And in person, and I regret this, is just a random like self-reflection thing. I had mentioned that, don't applaud the matchups are in my favor essentially. But I think that feels bad for opponent and for other people in the event. It's just a random thing that if you haven't played in events before, something I hadn't considered and something that I think is worth thinking about, especially if you're in a winning position, is it's best to be neutral. You don't want to be overly happy, and you don't want to be the other direction either. You want to be neutral in victory, and I think that's not only is that best for your own I guess internal thought process about the game, but also it's just kind of better for everyone's overall experience from like an outside POV as well. With that out of the way, we can get into the game. I've drawn my opening hand. I end up mulling 2 here, but I don't remember what exactly my hand was, but I know it was a strong hand. I remember being quite happy about it. I get to go turn 1 Hourglass here, which is a really nice start to the game. Opponent's just going to go Dangerous Duo, so relatively, I'd say, average start. Like, that's not, what he's looking for, but it's fine. Tap 4 for Catalyst of Aeons, setting up for 8 next turn, which is huge. Dangerous Duo walks into the Hollowed Tomb, and Kaiser accelerates onto Reaver's Row for the card draw. So opponent's on 2 battlefields, looking pretty decent for him, but he's walking into an 8 mana turn for me, or an 8 energy turn for me, so I'm going to slam down the Dead Bloom onto Hollowed Tomb. With the Hourglass in base, I got to feel pretty good about this. I'm already at 1 point, and this Dead Bloom's like immortal right now. It's really strong, and opponent's at 3 points. So usually by this state in the game, you want to be threatening 4 or 5 for the Master Yi, because with the Dead Bloom setup and the Hourglass, it's going to be difficult for Kaiser to break this. We've gone through and we've analyzed Tog's lines from this position because we were just kind of curious. He had options to kill Dead Bloom here, even through the Hourglass. It just would have been really expensive and really taxing. And there's also some other lines to consider that will I'm not sure I'll bother pointing out later in the game because they get kind of complex. But yeah, Tog certainly has lines here, and that's why he's taking quite some time to think about it, because yeah, there's so many options to consider. He ends up backing the Kaiser and developing some more units. I take a point for holding, ready up my runes. My runes are so messy. My rune management could use some work. We do Master Yi, push to Reaver's Row, and now we have a really strong setup. The Yi on one battlefield, the Dead Bloom on another. This is like the ideal position this deck wants to be in at this stage in the game. We have 3 points, and we have a really solid setup. This Dead Bloom's effectively representing 10 might, Master Yi is effectively representing 8, and even if you do push enough to go through the Master Yi, we can just kind of push him back to base. And then even if you, with the Reaver's Row effect, and then even if you manage to chew through either of these two somehow, they're going to live through the Zhonya's Hourglass. So yeah, really strong setup. A lot of decks won't be able to break you here, and even in situations where they can break you, they have to spend a lot of resources to do so, and it's going to be a hard game state for them to recover by. I believe I'm at 7 runes right now. No. Yes, 7 would be correct. And then I have 1 up as well. So the 1 up could be a Defy, could be an On Guard. He ends up going for the Falling Star to clear the Master Yi, and then... Oh, what happened there? Oh, I think he did Smokescreen and Falling Star, which means Falling Star first proc will kill Master Yi, and then the Hourglass will break, and then the second Falling Star proc will kill Master Yi again, because the Smokescreen reduces Master Yi's total might, and then even after he's recalled from the Hourglass, the total might still remains at 6. Oh, sorry, at 2 after the Smokescreen. So 1 Falling Star proc can kill through the Hourglass, so it looked pretty good for him. He pushes into my Dead Bloom, spends a lot of power to do a bunch of targeting stuff, Stupefy plus Void Seeker for ultimately what is a trade. So this seems like a good recoverable position for opponent. They also get the Kaiser down on Reaver's Row, so they get to draw cards. They get lots of cards. They've cleared through my Hourglass, killed my Master Yi, killed my Dead Bloom. Okay, so we Dead Bloom onto Reaver's Row. Kaiser retreats, get another point, so we're going to go to 4 against opponent's 4. Okay, he moves up the Kaiser onto Hollowed, gets a card for draw, and considers his options. I believe he's just going to develop this turn. He just plays a bunch of guys. I think he wants to protect Kaiser is his big thing right now. Okay, so he goes for Noxus Hopeful and a Ravenbloom Student. Kind of hard to break that. We get a point for holding. We set up 2 Clockwork Keepers in our base while leaving 4 up. I don't believe I drew a card for either of these Clockwork Keepers because I knew I had everything I needed, basically. I think I already had... Oh, no, I didn't have Charm yet because I ended up top decking it when I need it here in just a moment. So maybe I should have drawn. I think there was a reason I didn't. I'm at... I spent 4 there. I had 5, so I had 9. Yeah, I don't remember the hand state, but I remember thinking that I couldn't spend power to draw here for reasons. So we go for the Charm here on the Darius, bring him over to Reaver's Row. Very unfortunate for opponent. I mean, that's like a huge... That was a huge top... Oh, there we go. White Flame Protector. And then that's going to completely clear this as well. I think we end up trading because he uses a spell. Yeah, it's Hexray, so we trade. Hexray Stupefy, and then we trade everything here. And then I walk Clockwork Keeper up. Take another point. I mean, Clockwork Keeper already is just representing 4. No interaction needed. So Ravenbloom Student can't walk over it. He's going to need spell interaction just to kill my Clockwork Keeper. And then on the Crackback, I also have a White Flame Protector in base, ready to run at whatever he puts onto the Hollowed Tomb. Really rough position for opponent. I think he might just fold here. Runs Ravenbloom Student up, looks for the Void Seeker to try and draw something, and then doesn't find anything. I think he was looking for Smokescreen exactly was the only thing that helped him there. But yeah, I mean, very tough position for opponent. I feel bad because I can't credit this person for their name. I didn't actually catch their name. There was either Charles or Charlie or some CH name. So I really do apologize that I don't remember your name, opponent. But for now, they're just going to be labeled opponent. If I catch their name in the future, I'll throw it in the comment section. But my turn 1 is Poro, and it's very nice that I get to go first here. Going first into the Kai'Sa feels really good. We go to Targon's Ready 2 Runes. Opponent has the Ravenbloom Student, and I do push for the Charm kill on the Ravenbloom Student and develop another Poro in base. They untap, and I forget what ends up happening here. I think they develop a unit. I think they go for the Void Seeker as well. Yeah, Void Seeker kills my Poro, and then they develop another unit. I don't quite be able to tell what unit that is because of the glare. I think it might just be a Noxus Hopeful. We hit him with another Charm to clear it, and then a Catalyst of Aeons to set up for next turn, which is really awesome. And we also get the Targon's proc Ready 2 Runes. Feels pretty good in this position because we're also going to 8. Like, we managed to Charm 2 turns in a row and set up for 8 next turn. Like, it's about as perfect as it gets. They push a unit onto the Sigil of the Storm because it's the only battlefield they're allowed to fight on here, thanks to the Poro. That's the whole combo that we talked about. The Poro just being able to go to Sigil, to be able to defend the other battlefield that isn't Sigil of the Storm. It's just so nice. I think I'm at exactly 8 here, and I'm considering whether I want to Deadbloom onto Sigil or not. It's actually a really important decision because if I Deadbloom onto Sigil, it's really awkward for my rune count. So it looks like I push Master Yi specifically to avoid that rune count problem. Sigil of the Storm, if I Deadbloom onto Sigil of the Storm at exactly 8, I end up going to 7 the next turn, which is really bad. I really want to be at 8 at all times, basically, with this deck. We end up being able to ready for Master Yi because he didn't clear it, which means we get to get the point for holding on Sigil and then gank over to Targon's. Really strong setup. He has 2 units in base here. I believe one's a Ravenbloom Student and one's a Yordle. We do the Pit Rookie on the Master Yi, pumping him up to 7, meaning that Folding Star itself isn't to clear, and neither is Singularity. He's going to need 2 interaction spells here to kill Master Yi. Has a lot of runes up, though. He ends up tapping them all for Watcher, and then he's going to push everything, I think, into Master Yi, if I remember correctly. I have a lot of runes up, though. I think I have 6 runes up. Yeah, because I only tapped 2 for the Pit Rookie, so there's a lot I can be doing here. It's Watcher. Oh, it was Sentry. It was Sentry and Yordle. So I go Discipline. I'm taking my unit from 4 to 6, and then On Guard as well. To make it a trade, I believe. And then, opponent let me use a Finder Center, technically out of sequence. I should have done it during Showdown. There's just a step I forgot. So I appreciate him letting me do that. It didn't have any impact on the game at all. It's just like a sequencing thing that I should have... honestly, he shouldn't have let me have it, but I appreciate it. He did let me have it. Especially while there's a box on the line. He didn't have to do that, so it's very much appreciated. But again, it wasn't outcome determinative here anyway. Tasty Feyfolk accelerating onto Targon's, and then the Pit Rookie moving to the Sigil of the Storm. He goes for double Stupefy on the Tasty, and then I believe a Falling Star to clear it, if I remember correctly. Some interaction to clear it. Stupefy on the Pit Rookie. It's actually kind of an interesting line here I want to talk about in just a second. That initially, when I was looking back at the footage, I thought this was just strictly a mistake, and then it was not. But yeah, we Tasty and push onto Sigil, and that's game. So the interaction I wanted to point out, because it was kind of cool, was back when we got Stupefied. So here's the game state. Opponent goes for a Void Seeker on our Tasty Feyfolk, 2 Stupefies on it. This resets our Tasty to base because of the Zhonya's Hourglass, and then opponent gets to draw a card. I believe the card he draws is Noxus Hopeful, though I can't quite point it out. He goes for tap 1 on Stupefy on Pit Rookie, and when I looked back at this, I thought, well, hold on. It's actually a mistake to Stupefy the Pit Rookie, because if you Stupefy Pit Rookie and then draw into Falling Star, the Falling Star can't clear both units, but if you Stupefy Tasty Feyfolk, you could clear both units. And I couldn't identify a reason you would want to Stupefy the Pit Rookie specifically compared to the Tasty Feyfolk. But the reason is actually because I have 1 rune up, and I'm at 7 points. If I hold here, I win the game. So if he doesn't Stupefy Pit Rookie, and he draws the Falling Star, and he casts Falling Star to try to kill both units, and I have On Guard, I just win, because I can On Guard the Pit Rookie through the Falling Star. But now he can draw any 3 damage interaction spell target the pit rookie, and On Guard is no longer an answer to survive that damage spell. I actually just think it's really cool that something I initially interpreted as like just a plain mistake could have actually just been the opponent playing for a line that might have been one of their only outs to the current game state. So yeah, this was kind of my first experience at locals playing Riftbound. Got my hands on a box, which is pretty fun. It's also the only access I have to any launch product, so that's an exciting moment on its own. Shout out to everyone who played in the event. It was really fun playing against you all and meeting you all. Honestly, I thought in-person play, like the social dynamic would not really be for me. Not that I'm like a anti-social person or whatever. It's just typically when I'm playing a game, especially a card game over the years, it's been more about the game itself. But I swear, like the most fun part about the event was just talking in between rounds with everybody and just kind of hanging out. It was a good time. And yeah, everyone there was lovely, so I'm excited to see you all again next time I come around to that store. Thanks everybody for watching, keep being awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.